Hey guys, in this video we are going to talk about the problems of code drift day 1 and the topic is graphs. So let's get started. So let us talk about the first problem. In the kingdom of friendship, there live n people. Each person is a friend with every other person. The queen wanted to know the best friend of each person. Note that best friendship is considered a unidirectional relationship here. So she conducted a survey where each person I replied AI as is her best friend. The queen was shocked to see that there were people who were not the best friend of their best friends. The queen thinks that all pair who have each other as the best friend should be given a prize. Can you tell us how many gifts the queen will distribute? The problem constraints are n can vary from 1 to 2 into 10 raised to power 5 and each element in the array will vary from 1 to n. Now let us try to understand this problem statement with some examples. Let us talk about the first example. Let's say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Then from here, I know for 1, best friend is 3, right? For 2, best friend is 1. For 3, best friend is 2. Now here we can see we cannot create any pairs because it's a cycle, right? Best friend of 1 is 3 and best friend of 3 is 2 and best friend of 2 is 1, right? So in this case our answer will be 0. Now let us talk about the second example. Let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then best friend of 1 is 3, best friend of 2 is 2. So 2 doesn't have any best friend, so we can just put it aside. And then we have best friend of 3 is 1. Okay. Best friend of 4 is 5 and best friend of 5 is 4, right? So in this case we can see that this one and this one, these two are the pairs we are looking for, right? So in this case our answer will be 2. Now let us move on to see the solution to this problem. Basically we are given an array, right? So let's say for ith element we know that the best friend of ith element is AI, right? Similarly, the best friend of AIth element, that will be A of AI, right? Now, in order to count the pairs, I want to ensure that this I is equal to this value because I need both of them to be best friend of each other, right? So best friend of I is AI and best friend of AI is denoted by this value and this must be equal to this value. That means we can just iterate over the array from left side to the right and we can check if I equal to A of AI, right? And if this is the case, we'll add 1 to the answer. And we need to check for one more condition. If I equal to AI, that means ith person doesn't have a best friend. Okay, it's a friend of itself. So we just need to ignore this value. And in this way, we can solve this problem quite easily. Now let us talk about the code of this problem. So the code to this problem is quite straightforward. We are looping on the array from left to right. First we are checking if I is not equal to AI minus 1. Here we are using I minus 1 because we are using 0 based indexing in this case. And if current index is equal to the current element at that index, then in that case we need to skip, right? That's why we are checking this. Otherwise we are just checking the specified condition here. And if that is the case, I am adding 1 to the answer. After that I am returning answer by 2. Why so? Because here we are talking about pairs, right? Let's say this is the case. This is index 1. At index 1 we have 3 and at index 3 we have 1. Then we are talking about pairs here. So while iterating when I am at 1, I'll check that these two are the pairs we are talking about. So I'll add 1 to the answer. And then when I'll move on to the next index, I'll again see that this is valid. Then I'll add it again to the answer. So in this fashion, we'll see that we are adding to the answer twice. So that's why we have to divide it by 2. Now let us move on to the second question. The second problem is shortest and shortest. So the problem description states that you are given the map of a city having A houses in form of an undirected graph B, where BI denotes a road between house BI0 and BI1, having length BI2. For a given pair of houses C and D, you have to tell the shortest road that can exist in a shortest path between them. Note, it is guaranteed that there always exists a path between C and D, that is, they are always connected. The problem constraints are A can vary from 2 to 10 raised to power 5, length of B can vary from 1 to 10 raised to power 6, and the index of houses vary from 1 to n, and the paths can vary from 1 to 10 raised to power 9, and C is not equal to D. Now let us try to understand this problem with some examples. Now let us talk about this example. We are given A as 7, that means we have 7 houses, and then we are given the information about edges and their weights, and we are given C as 1 and D as 3. So first, let's start off with building the graph. The first edge is between 1 and 2 with weight 2. So 1 is connected to 2 with weight 2. Then 2 and 3 with weight 8. So we'll have 8 here. Then 1 and 7, weight is 3. Then 7 and 4, weight is 2. And then 4 and 3, weight is 5. Then 1 and 5, okay, 1 and 5, weight is 3. Then 5 and 3, weight is 7. Then 1 and 6, so 1 and 6, weight is 1. So these are all the edges and their respective weights. Now C is 1, that means the first house that we are talking about is 1, and the second house D is 3. Okay, if we try to calculate the shortest distance between them, we can see that it is 10, right? And there are a couple of routes that we can take to get the shortest distance, like we can go from 1 to 2 and then from 2 to 3. Okay, so this will result in 10. Similarly, from 1 to 5 and 5 to 3, it again results in 10. And similarly, from 1 to 7, 7 to 4 and 4 to 3, it again results in 10. So we have 3 different routes here. So in this case, I need to tell the shortest edge that I can have. So I can clearly see that the shortest edge that I can have in our path is of length 2. Either we can take this edge or we can take this edge. So for this example, our answer is 2. Now let us move on to see the solution to this problem. Now I am using the same graph from the example. In order to solve this problem properly, we need to tell the shortest edge, right? So first off, we are going to calculate 2 distances here. First one is D1, the second one is D3. Here D1 will denote the shortest distance from node 1 to any node. Similarly, D3 will denote the shortest distance from node 3 to any node. So basically we need to run Dijkstra first from 1, then from 3. Okay, after that I'll get some values. So let's try to write down all of those values here. Now the shortest distance from node 1 to node 1 is 0, right? Now shortest distance from node 1 to node 2 is 2. Shortest distance from node 1 to node 3 is 10. Similarly, for node 4, it is 5. For node 5, it is 3. For node 6, it is 1. For node 7, it is 3. Right. In this fashion, we can also fill D3. So now I'm going to fill D3 as well. So basically, in order to get this information, we can use Dijkstra's algorithm to get the shortest path from node 1 and node 3. Now that we have this information, let's try to solve the problem. So what we'll do, okay, basically I'll iterate on the edges, and the first thing that I'll check for every edge, let's say I'm currently at this edge, then first thing that I'm going to check is whether this edge lies between the path of 1 and 3. And if it lies between the path, from path I mean the shortest path, if it lies between the shortest path between 1 and 3, then only I'll try to minimize my answer with the weight of this edge. Okay, so in that way I'm going to move on. Now the problem is, how can we check whether current edge lies between the shortest path of 1 and 3 or not? So the answer is quite simple. The first thing that we know is the shortest path between 1 and 3 is 10, right? The length is 10. We can confirm this from here or here, right? From 1 to 3 or from 3 to 1. Now that we know the shortest path, let's say I'm currently talking about this edge, okay? So in order to check whether this edge lies between the shortest path of 1 and 3, I'll write these conditions here. It should be weight of this edge, let's say that is W, plus D1 of 4, that is the distance of node 1 to node 4, plus the D3 of 7, that is the distance from node 3 to node 7, it should be equal to 10, right? Either this should be the case, or there is one more case here, that is weight of the edge plus distance from 1 to 7, that is D1 7, plus distance of 3 to 4, that is D3 4, it should be equal to 10. if I satisfy any of these conditions, that means our current edge is a valid edge. Okay, so in that case, I'll minimize my answer with 2. So that's how I'm gonna check. So what I'm doing here, I'm just assuming that this node is connected to 3 and this node is connected to 1, and then this edge is acting as the bridge, right? Similarly, for second case, I am assuming that this node is connected to 7 and this node is connected to 4, and this edge is acting as a bridge. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna calculate my answer. So eventually, after minimizing, I'll get my answer. So that's how we can solve this problem quite easily. Now let us move on to see the pseudocode of this problem. Now let us see the code to this problem. So this is the main solve function. We are given all the parameters right here. So the first thing that we are doing here is we are creating the adjacency list. And the adjacency list stores the neighbors and the corresponding weights. Okay. After that, I am running Dijkstra's algorithm. This above code, this is basically the template of Dijkstra's algorithm. So I am running Dijkstra's algorithm from node C, and I am getting all the distances from node C inside this DC vector. Similarly, I am getting all the distances from node D inside this DD vector. And our shortest path variable, it consists of the shortest path from C to D, right? Currently, I am assuming that my answer is something really big, which is not in the bounds of weights. Then I am iterating over all the edges. Okay, so I'm checking here two conditions. So the first condition is, as we have already talked about this, let's say this is C node, this is D node. Then let's say I'm currently at some edge here. This is X, this is Y. Then the condition first we are checking is distance from C to X and distance from D to Y plus this weight, right? And similarly, we are doing it again, distance from C to Y and distance from D to X plus weight. Okay, so these are the two conditions that we are checking. If any one of these conditions is correct, then I am minimizing my answer with the weight of current edge, or that is W, right? So that's what I'm doing here. After that, I'll get the minimum answer in my answer variable and I can return that here. So that's how we can solve this problem quite easily. I hope you enjoyed the content of this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.